Hello, gamers. Hello. Late streamer who is late to her own streams. Hello. Hello, everyone. I hope you have been doing well. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you've been doing wonderful so far for the week. Hello, Black Blue. Yes, we are back today with some more Shibuya Scramble. I am actually surprisingly really, really invested right now in particular. I don't understand why. I feel like the mystery is about the same, basically, which is to say good in my mind. But I was just like thinking all week is like, man, I can't wait to play more of this game. So I'm not entirely sure why, but we are going to continue with some more. We're gonna probably finish Tama's storyline today, and maybe Osawa's. At the very least, we're gonna start Achi's and Kano's today, at the very least. So I had to go back to work this week. I am not amused. Oof. Oof. Good luck. Good luck. Hopefully work is not too miserable. Maybe a little slow in the beginning. Before, you know, things start to pick up. So but yeah, I feel you there. Next week there's actually only going to be one stream because there's too many deliveries to be made. So I will be gone, completely gone. But we'll get around to that when it's time to get around to that. Anyway, let's go to the time charts, and there's a jump over here to go to Tama's story, and we'll start from there. There we go. Jump. So last time, Tama actually took off her cat suit. Also, I can't remember in the slightest. I don't remember at all. But I believe that last stream I was acting like, wait, you just have amnesia? And I think Tama had like mentioned it previously, maybe in another time block. I can't remember. I'm not sure. So maybe it wasn't too much of a surprise. It's just it never gets brought up. So I must have forgot. And I was like, wait, you have amnesia? That's something you have? Okay. So yeah. Otherwise, did it say that it? No, the keep out is still there. Oh. Oh. The keep out is absolutely still there. Well, well, that is not happening. There's no other place to jump, I don't think. Osawa has a keep out as well. Minorikawa is done, so that's good. In that case, I think it's time to just start somebody else's story. In which case, we'll just go ahead and how do I get back to the other place? No. Well, I guess we could start from here. Hold on. We can start from here. Let's start with Achi's story, I guess, and then go from there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she mentioned her amnesia shortly after we met her. It just doesn't bother her, so she rarely ever mentions it. Yeah. It's like, I think I have a vague memory of her mentioning it once in passing, and it's just like, oh, you just have amnesia? And then it never got brought up again. I surprisingly cannot skip this at all. Alright. Oh. Alright, well, he's down. Gun. Yes, indeed, gun. This man has been chasing us with a gun for like 12 hours or something. It feels like forever. He has just never shot it. So if you forget to have amnesia, can you forget that it bothers you too? If you forget you have amnesia, can you forget that it bothers you too? Mayhaps? Perhaps? Maybe. Let's see. Suddenly, the assassin's head jerked forward. He pitched face first onto the pavement and lay still, revealing a foreign man standing behind him. It was Jack Stan. No, it's not Jack Stanley, but it's just that freaking dude. In one hand, the stranger clutched a metal pipe. Also, I completely and totally forgot to mention it, but yes, I got back my logo, my VTuber logo, in which I had commissioned somebody months ago to make it, but the waitlist was long, so they finally got around to it. It is up top there on the stream chat, and I really like how it turned out. It looks really good, so yay. Hitomi, no, that's me. Hitomi, Achi asked. You know that guy? Hitomi's eyes went wide. That's the man from the scramble. The one who told me to go to the van. Wait, one of the kidnappers? Why would he help us? I'm not sure. I don't know if he's helping you. He just looks deranged. The newcomer fixed his eyes on Achi. Yeah, looks very cute. Looks very nice. So, hey man, Achi approached the stranger. I'm not sure what's going on here, but thanks for the assist. Alright, cool. Not surprising in the slightest. Whoa! The man took a sudden swing with his pipe. Achi barely managed to dodge out of the way. What the hell? Once again, Achi made sure Hitomi was safely behind him. Are they both in like a fighting stance? Hitomi's like, I will throw hands. Do not test me. Once again, Achi made sure Hitomi was safely behind him. Guess I gotta let my fist do the talking. Achi quickly adopted a fighting stance. Be careful, Hitomi warned, her voice trembling. Ooh, it was like fisheye. Fisheye perspective or something. Don't worry, it's just a pipe. I'll snatch it away from him and make him tell us where your sister is. Achi judged the distance between them carefully as he stared his opponent down. The metal pipe gave this thug considerable reach. One solid hit from that thing and Achi wouldn't stand a chance. He needed to end this in one punch. One punch. The crook sized him up for a few moments, then lunged forward to attack. Now. Hey! Achi sidestepped to avoid the oncoming blow, then delivered a vicious left hook to the adversary's jaw. The man went down hard. I'm not gonna lie, but Hitomi looks like the type that would break her wrist trying to throw a punch. True! She's still gonna try, though. Good for her, honestly. Well, not good for her. She might get hurt, but good for her for the effort, I guess. I don't know if fighting stance is what you call what Hitomi's doing. Maybe not, maybe not. Yeah, one punch! He was the original One Punch Man. Achi gazed at his fallen foe, flexing his knuckles. The thing about guys who bring weapons to fights is that they always let themselves get too cocky. He looked the guy over. The man had a tattoo peeking from one of his ratty sleeves. Come on, buddy. You can't clock out just yet, Achi said. Get up. I got a few questions for you. He knelt down to grab the man by his collar. Oh, and then he pulled out a gun. Great, awesome. Halfway to his feet, the man pulled a gun from his breast pocket. Whoa, didn't know you were packing heat. Achi took a quick step backward. The man's eyes brimmed with rage. He looked ready to pull the trigger at any moment. But he didn't get the chance, because then someone shot him. Oh, speaking of, the man with the cane regained consciousness. Back on his feet, he trained his own gun at the foreigner. The foreigner quickly shifted his attention to the other gunman. Oh no, you don't! Achi darted forward and kicked the kidnapper in the hand as hard as he could. The gun went flying from his grasp. With a low snarl, the man took up the metal pipe again. Rather than go for Achi, however, he charged at the man with the cane. Interesting, so they're not working together. They're like very much enemies. Alright. What the... Achi watched in astonishment as the two men grappled. Everyone has guns, except us, so we're getting out of here. Now's her chance. Grabbing Hitomi by the hand, Achi broke into a run. Huh. In that case, maybe we should... Well, no. I was about to be like, maybe we should trust the man with the cane who's pointing a gun at us and trying to shoot us. No, I don't think so. But maybe he's not as bad as he seems. I don't know. They ran for a long time, finally stopping to rest in a quiet municipal park. As they sat catching their breath, Achi sensed a new tension in Hitomi. She hadn't said a word since their latest escape. She has to die, Achi. It's for your own good. In his mind, Achi replayed what the man with the cane had said. So, Hitomi. Achi hesitated. About what happened back there. Yeah? She sounded like she'd been far gone in her own thoughts. You gotta believe me. I have no idea who that guy was. Never seen him before in my life. He must have been saying that stuff to confuse us, to trip us up. Yeah? Hitomi said again. Is that what's been bothering you? Huh? Now it was Achi's turn to go monosyllabic. Alright. Alright, cool. Well, Achi, you're kind of famous around Shibuya, right? I don't know about that. Way back when, he'd been the leader of SOS. Nowadays, he was just some guy who picked up trash. That was nothing to brag about. When someone's famous, it's not unusual for someone else to recognize them and know their name. So yeah, I was surprised back there, but no matter what that man may have said, I trust you. I mean, look how many times you put yourself in danger to protect me. Hitomi sounded pretty resolute. Achi was glad she believed him, but that raised another question. So then, how come you've been so quiet? I've just been thinking about things. Like what that man from the scramble might be after. I see an autosave. It might be time to make a choice. It was true that his actions didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, he seemed more interested in taking out the man with the cane than going after you. Okay, maybe there's bad blood between them. Maybe it's a case of mistaken identity. Maybe there is bad blood between them. Achi let out a little chuckle. If we're lucky, maybe they'll take each other out for us. He felt a rush of relief, reassured that Hitomi didn't doubt his motives. Regardless, though, we have to track down that blue van. The sound of a child's cry came from behind them. Oh. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's a little funny. It's just the kid just freaking face planted. What the hell? It's a little funny. It's slightly funny. Okay. Turning to look, they saw the kidnapper rushing toward them. He had knocked over a little girl who was in his way. No rest for the weary, Achi sighed. Little misfortune level faceplant. True. Yet again, he and Hitomi sprinted away. Do you think he took out the guy with the cane? That was me talking. Shoot. Okay, just remember it was me. Hitomi's words came between panting huffs. Maybe. Achi glanced back at their pursuer. What? There was someone else with him. Now they were being chased down by two foreigners. I like this better when we were just running from the one guy with the cane. In a one-on-one fight, Achi was confident he could keep Hitomi safe. One-on-two, though, that was a different story. One guy might get a hold of her while he was facing off with the other. He had to make sure they lost these creeps no matter what. And then the game said, get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, cool. Huh. Interesting. It seems like it might just be my imagination, but it seems like the timelines are a bit well-paced, which is to say that last time, or like last time block, I think you could play through Achi's story all the way through, whereas Osawa was locked off for the longest time. And then this time block, I got through the vast majority of Osawa's story, and Achi was basically cut off at the very beginning. So it seems to follow that sort of trend where you can get to different points in different stories based on their time blocks, just so that you don't you don't always start and complete Tama's story right away. You know, if you wanted to, you have to play through all the characters. Thank you for the clip. Thank you for the clip. All right. With that being said, I guess the only person left is Kano. So let's go visit him with our dear new friend, Jack Stanley. Following Kano's directions, Stanley drove toward the crime syndicate's hangout. There was a good chance that this was where Maria was being held. Traffic was practically non-existent, and they made good time. They cruised down Mazuzaka, and then past the train station toward Dogenzaka. All the while, the two men stared out the windshield, neither inclined to make conversation. They arrived at Shinsencho intersection. "Take a right here," Kano said. "You nervous?" Stanley asked as he made the turn. His own tone was calm and level. Kano gave no reply. If this syndicate really was holding Maria hostage up ahead, which I doubt they are because I think Tama just forgot she was kidnapped and just walked out of there. It was just like, man, that was a really good nap I had. I don't know why I was in a warehouse. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. He and Stanley might wind up putting her in danger by showing up there. If it came down to it, Kano wondered, could he count on the man next to him taking the hostage's safety into account? He doubted it, but there was nothing he could do about that now. They arrived at the syndicate's hangout sooner than Kano had anticipated. It was a multi-tenant building in Tomigaya, southwest of Yoyogi Park. The ratty building looked like it might come crashing down at any minute. The Black Lodge sign out front looked deliberately ominous. Kano knew the place as a bar frequented by expats from various countries, as well as a hotbed for criminal activity. "I'll take points," Stanley said. "You back me up." He pulled a handgun from his suit pocket. It was a compact Glock. Glock? We just have Glocks. Glock 17, a semi-automatic pistol developed in Austria for the police and military use, notable for its incorporation of large amounts of plastic in its design. A certain Hollywood film included a line of dialogue claiming that the Glock would not show up on an airport X-ray machines, but since the gun barrel itself is made of metal, this is assuredly not true. Hates misinformation. Hates it. A motto frequently used by the FBI or CIA. Federal Bureau of Investigation, an American investigative bureau established by the U.S. Department of Justice in 1908, has authority in matters involving crimes that cross state lines as well as threats to public order such as espionage and terrorism. Generally speaking, the FBI conducts its activities within the United States. And the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, one of the principal agencies of the U.S. intelligence community, reporting to the Director of National Intelligence, possessing considerable budgetary resources and a vast network of highly trained personnel. The CIA carries out intelligence gatherings and covert operations primarily overseas. Oh, okay. In recent years, the organization has devoted major efforts to counterterrorism. Well, today I learned. Yay! Every gun is a Glock. Even the ones that are not Glocks are Glocks. This is true. This is true. This is what movies would have you believe. Kano drew his own gun, then the two cautiously made their way inside. They immediately heard some sort of ruckus from beyond a wooden door at the far end of the hall. Please don't let this be what I think it is, Kano thought to himself. Sweat beaded on his hands as he gripped the gun tighter. He heard the sound of glass shattering. Then came the sound of something heavy falling to the floor. Maria. Ignoring Stanley's previous order, Kano rushed ahead, kicked down the door, and stepped inside. Oh, Kano. Oh, Kano. He walked right into a massacre. There were nearly a dozen bodies sprawled out across the floor. Wait, are they dead? That guy's bloodied. Are they actually dead? He thought he'd recognize them all, the men who participated in the repeated attaché case handoffs, because we had to reuse actors. But also, makes sense. Yeah. Do you think the CIA operated stateside? I don't know. I just know it's kind of like the FBI, basically. So today I learned that they were more international, or more overseas, than the FBI primarily is. Each appeared to have been stabbed to death. Oh, they're actually dead. Oh well. Oh well. This kind of sucks. Had these guys all turned on each other? That is the fakest blood I have ever seen. No, that couldn't have been the case. None of the victims was holding a knife, which meant that whoever had killed them must be hiding nearby. No sooner had Kano come to this conclusion than he heard a muffled cry behind him. Ow. Stanley! The American was sprawled out on the floor, face down. Kano rushed over and knelt beside him. Wait. What? Stanley was dead, stabbed through the back? Huh? What? You were like 3 steps away. What? You didn't think to cry out? Oh no, help, I'm being stabbed. Ooh, oh gosh, it hurts so much. Ooh. Are you sure he's dead? Are you sure? Dang it, that was my favorite voice to do. I'm Jack Stanley. Look at me, I'm Jack Stanley. Ah, man. Oh, shoot. Without an instant's hesitation, Kano stood up again, gun at the ready. He scanned his surroundings, but there was no sign of the killer. But that was impossible. Stanley had been killed mere moments ago. Someone had to be here somewhere. Are you sure that he's dead? Are you sure you're sure? Out of nowhere, he felt someone press the tip of a knife into his neck from behind, right at the base of his skull. How? He hadn't noticed anyone coming up on him. There wasn't even anyone else around. Nobody but the corpses scattered across the floor. Wait, the corpses? Kano hadn't... This is... Oh my gosh. Okay, this is... I'm not gonna say specifics, but this is literally a plot that happens in Zero Escape. It is literally the exact same one-for-one plot that happens in Zero Escape, and I'm gonna cry. Kano hadn't checked them. Hadn't checked to make sure they were all really dead. With his final thought, he realized that had been his fatal mistake. And then he died. Just super died. Maybe he fainted from the stabbing. I suppose it seems pretty specific. Bad ends. Well, I thought they were dead. Alas, there's nothing to be done for poor Kano now, because just big Junpei energy. It's just like, yeah, well, I didn't really check, so oh well. He wasn't prepared for whoever was wielding that knife. Sometimes it's not best to rush things. Kano and Stanley might not have had their run-in with a killer if they had turned up a little bit later. Huh. There's someone who can cause a traffic jam at 1310, which should keep these two from meeting such a grisly end. Really? That's kind of interesting, actually. I don't... Because I don't know who that would be. At 10? Here. Who can do what? Osawa? Can Osawa do anything? Maybe. I know the exact thing you were talking about with Zero Escape. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. It's that exact thing. Anyway. Well, with that in mind... What is this? Say no to the US. Say no. Just say no. And by challenge, I mean... Huh. And then a keep out over here, so we can't do anything. Huh. That's kind of interesting, because I don't know who that would be. I don't know if we've met anyone like that who can cause that. You can hit the girl that's over here. Yeah. It might be Achi, but we have a keep out on Achi's end, so maybe we have to do something else instead. Alright. Well, with all that said, let's see what jumps we have. There's the cat mascot. That one hasn't opened. Or that one's already been opened, I guess. Person in the cat... wait. Wrong time block. What am I talking about? Let's see. Some choices over here. There's a jump over here to Achi Endo. Oh, okay. There's a jump over here to Minorikawa. Let's try this one. That game is at least generous with picking routes and the game is at least generous with picking routes and decisions. Yes, it is. It is. I do like the mechanics behind this game. I'm like actually kind of shocked there's no like 4-2-5 Shibuya Scramble. Like it doesn't have to necessarily take place with any of the same characters or have the same plot at all. But I just mean like taking those same mechanics and then building on them. I'm surprised this is kind of a standalone game for the most part. It's a street fight, including a couple and other people. Achiendo. Alright, cool. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm not gonna BRB, but I made myself some tea at the beginning of stream, and I am going to drink it now, because it's cool. So give me 1 second. Alright. Also, I realized that the two thugs are, like, holding each other up so that one can see what's going on, because the other is too short, I guess. So, huh, interesting. Also, I drank tea, and then I started coughing. So, great, awesome, cool. Love it when it messes up my voice. So, I thought the guy on the right was lifting the guy on the crate like he was bullying him. No, I think he's actually helping him. I think they're mafia members, if I remember. They're Yakuza. So, as luck would have it, they soon found a crowd in their path, backs turned toward them. Excited voices rose up from the throng. Whoa, what's the deal? Is something going on? It's a street fight! A fight, as the name implies, that takes place out in the street, typically using bare hands and no weapons. Even a bare-handed fight can result in serious injuries, though, which is why they're pretty illegal. Pretty, like 75% illegal. Achi clutched Hitomi's hand good and tight. Whatever you do, don't let go. Without a moment's hesitation, he plowed his way through the crowd. Emerging on the far side of the gathering, they didn't even comment on like the person was in a cat suit. Like that was kind of crazy. That was kind of wild. Emerging on the far side of the gathering, Achi saw the main road ahead. Cars were zipping past in a steady stream. What do we do? There were too many cars for them to rush across the street without getting hit. Ah, so this is where you cause a traffic jam. And then save Kano's life, because he's always dying. He's literally always dying. But they couldn't exactly just sit and wait for the light to change. And they certainly couldn't go back the way they came. Their pursuers were getting closer and closer. Uh-oh, time for a choice. Hitomi! Achi shouted. We're going across, we're turning back. Absolutely not, we're going across. We're going across. What? Don't worry. Just don't get hit. That's the #1 rule. Dragging Hitomi by the hand, Achi darted out into the streets. Moving purely by instinct, he wove his way through the gaps between the speeding cars. Literally the scariest thing that anyone has ever done. When they were halfway across, a car slammed on its brakes to keep from hitting them, causing several cars behind it to crash into one another. The multi-vehicle pileup plunged the roadway into total chaos. Ah, Shinya Kano. Speaking of. As a result of this chaos, traffic in the nearby area will be at a standstill for a while. While on their way to the Syndicate hideout, Shinya Kano and Jack Stanley have gotten caught in this traffic jam. Yay! Yay! In a matter of moments, the street was clogged with a long line of stopping vehicles. Achi and Hitomi's pursuers remained on the other side and did not pursue. Okay, that was crazy. Oh wait, okay, that was crazy. Hitomi panted as she caught her breath. You know what they say. Idle feet are the devil's playthings. Hands, it's idle hands. Whatever. At least they got in the way. I've never heard this saying before ever in my life, but okay. Yay, good job, team. Total chaos. Just complete and utter insanity. Come on, let's go. Achi led the way down several twisting side streets before slowing his pace. By now, Hitomi was slumped and panting heavily. He wanted to give her some time to rest, but if they just hung around, their pursuers might still find them. You've never heard of idle hands? That's surprising. I've never heard that saying before. Maybe it's a regional thing, or maybe it's just like one of those sayings I don't know. He looked around and spotted a multi-tenant building. The nearest door was open. Bundles of flyers were set out near the entrance. Flyers of Au revoir. I love French. The 22nd performance by the Theater of the Wandering Angels. It tells the tale of a man named Ryu looking back on his 100-year life as a warrior. The performance features wire action as its major set piece, with Ryu and his rival Shido flying high through the air, doing battle with the magical Muramasa blade and beam saber, respectively. Okay, that's kind of different, but all right. Achi peeked inside and saw piles of plywood and painted lumber. It looked like this was a storeroom for the theater's stage props and scenery. Huh, okay. This theater group keeps coming up. I don't know. It's definitely tied to Minorikawa, but I don't know if it's tied to anyone else or if it's going to be important. We can hide out in here, he said. But Hitomi hesitated, but Achi gave her hand a little tug. It'll be fine. There's no one around. They stepped inside the storeroom and Achi quickly shut the door behind them. We should probably rest for a bit, he said. There was a wooden platform set up beside a large piece of plywood. Achi picked up... Sorry, I had to mute because my let me see. Hold on 1 second. I'm not going to BRB. Give me 1 second. I have to check on the dog. All right, I am back. Sometimes, like, when she has an itch that she can't reach, I assume that she, like, starts to lick her paw, like, just a bunch. But then if she licks her paw a bunch, she makes herself sick. So I have to go over and help her get the itch that she cannot reach, inevitably. So, Beam Saber made me do a double take. Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Okay, cool genre crossing, I guess. Achi picked up a magazine that had fallen on the floor and spread it out across the atop the the platform of the dusty surface. Sure, we'll skip over that one. Here, now you can sit without getting your clothes dirty. Are you serious? Thank you. I'm sure that's not the biggest issue right now. Hitomi quietly took a seat. We should probably turn off our cell phones, Achi said. It could be really bad if they rang at the wrong moment. The two powered off their phones. This is true. That's good thinking on your end. Achi took a cursory look around. It didn't look like there was any way in or out beside the door they come in through. There was a single window set in the wall, but it wouldn't open far enough to let them through. Ow. Okay, well, that's not disturbing at all. Cool. Neat. Well, they can't say lightsaber or they get sued. That is true. That is true. Oh. Hitomi let out a quiet gasp. Someone was outside the storeroom. Achi put a finger to his lips, and Hitomi gave a fearful nod. The window's frosted glass blocked any real view in or out. So long as they stayed quiet, they ought to be safe. Not disturbing at all. Okay, alright. Whoever was outside pressed their face to the frosted glass, trying to get a glimpse inside. The blurry visage of a foreigner who'd attacked them was dimly visible. Like the man with the cane before him, this guy was quick to catch up. Literally that emote. It's just so disturbing. The man pounded on the glass. Achi swallowed the lump in his throat. If this guy got in, they had nowhere to run. Achi turned to Hitomi and made another choice. Oh boy. Let's hurry out through the door. We'll be fine. Just sit tight. I think you should just stay put. We'll be fine. Just sit tight. Hitomi clutched Achi's arm hard. Can I help you with something? said a casual voice from outside. They saw their pursuer react at once, pulling back from the window. That's just our storeroom, you know? The voice added. Achi heard footsteps scampering away. Yay! Correct choices, yay! The kidnapper had run off. Achi exchanged glances with Hitomi and let out a tiny sigh. There were more voices coming from outside now. What was up with that guy? I don't know. Whatever. Let's just hurry and get this stuff tidied up. Man, my throat's raw. It sounded like a conversation between two men. The storeroom door opened and the men clomped their way inside. Tomonari Takaya and Taro Toga, two members of the theater troupe The Wandering Angels. Takaya is the Wandering Angels star actor, playing the lead role of Ryu in today's performance of Au revoir, the troupe's 22nd piece. Last night, he slept completely naked and got a cold, leading to the store float he has now. Toga is the stage director, handling things behind the scenes. He's irritated that Shinichi Bando, in charge of the props, seems to have gone AWOL. Oh yeah, we keep hearing about that guy. Is that going to be relevant or important? So, what are we getting? Let's grab all those folding chairs over there. Yep. The producer said we're gonna need a lot more seats all of a sudden. Mr. Oarai said that? Going all out for the troops' last hurrah, huh? Beats me, man. In no real hurry, the men went about carting the folded chairs away. They didn't notice Achi and Hitomi sitting silently in the shadows. Not gonna change the subjects, but how come we're using a dry ice machine and not a smoke machine? Maybe that's why my throat's bothering me? Yeah, it's pretty weird. Nobody's even operating it and it's still drawing a ton of power. Think it's defective? Oh, that's something that Achi's dad is in charge of, I believe. So, 10 out of 10 coughing voice acting. I sipped the tea and I started coughing as well. So, you know what? It's based on real life experience. Achi and Hitomi waited for the two men to finish up. If they were spotted, it would probably cause a scene. And worse still, it might alert the men who were hunting them. Once they'd carried off the rest of the folding chairs, the men closed the storeroom door. The foreigner could still be somewhere nearby, though, so Achi decided they should hide out in the room a little longer. Is this the... I don't think so, but is this the storeroom where Tama woke up? Is that it right there on the right? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just a similar set piece. I don't know. I have no clue. God, this blows. I want to get back out there to look for that blue van ASAP, but Achi trailed off as if something occurred to him. Wait a second. Now that's weird. Hitomi looked at him inquiringly. The kidnappers already have the ransom money, yeah? Achi said. That's right. And then they told you that your sister was in some blue minivan. Isn't that kind of weird? What do you mean? Did you figure that your sister was in the minivan by herself? Well, yes. If one of the kidnappers were to go with her, they wouldn't need to send me to go get her. Right, Achi said. And yet the fact that as soon as the kidnappers had their money, they could have just let Hitomi's sister out of the vehicle and just run off. There's no point in sending Hitomi to fetch her personally. The look of revelation dawned on Hitomi's face. Oh. That minivan had already left Dogenzaka, she said. And it came back while we were waiting for it. Oh, wait, Yeah. Yeah. Yeah? Maybe. Achi finished. He thought back to his earlier run-in with the blue vehicle. So then, inside that minivan, there had been a bunch of foreigners inside, which meant the kidnappers had been trying to ambush Hitomi. The kidnappers didn't have any intention of giving her sister back. Are these not the same options? To me, they are. To me, this is very similar. But I mean, yeah, the point is, I don't know if this choice matters. I don't know if it matters. I mean, obviously they were trying to ambush Hitomi, but also they didn't have any intention of giving your sister back. The kidnappers didn't have any intention of giving her sister back. The more Achi thought about it, the less sense it made for them to send Hitomi to get her. There had to be some other reason they wanted Hitomi to go to that minivan, but what? Do you think they were trying to kidnap me too? That's it. Achi clapped his hands together. Then they let your sister go and demand a ransom for you. Oh, okay. Alright, I see. I guess the focus is on if they wanted to do harm to Hitomi or just didn't want to give Maria up. I suppose so. TLDR, they're evil. They're evil. So that's all we really need to know. Then they let your sister go and demand the ransom for you. And then they'd make her deliver the ransom money for your release. They'd be able to get like infinite ransom money by constantly abducting one twin after the other. That seems a little far-fetched. I think it's good. I think it's good enough. Yeah, I guess you're right. Now that she'd said so, Achi realized it was kind of a ridiculous idea. Still, what if the kidnappers were really trying to kidnap me? As in, they accidentally abducted the wrong twin. Why would that be the case, though? The thing is, we don't know a whole lot about Maria. We do get, like, little lore drops from Osawa's story, but, like, to me, I don't know why that would be... It would be better to have abducted Hitomi rather than Maria, or, you know, something like that. I hear infinite money! Yes! I just feel like a bad plan. If you catch them having no intention of giving one up, there's no reason to pay the ransom. I suppose, but I mean, it's not like we can let one of them die. It's not like we can let one of them literally die. As in, like, they accidentally abducted the wrong twin. I mean, I guess it would have been easy to botch up. That would imply that they wanted me specifically and not my sister. Hitomi paused briefly in thought. Maybe you're hotter than your sister or something, Achi suggested with enthusiasm. Really freaking awkward, but alright. Hitomi shook her head. That can't be it. If anything, it's the other way around. Compared to my sister, I'm just... Whoa, hey, stop right there. Achi had to interrupt her. You're not just anything. Please don't. I'm just... Tears had welled up in Hitomi's eyes. Well, this is a pretty good time for a romance scene. I don't know about you, but this seems like a pretty good time for a romance scene. Why this had to happen to her? Why not me? Oh, hey, come on, don't cry. I'm sorry. Cheer up. It's like that song says. Don't just stand there or wipe those tears away. That one. You know it? Is that Aya Kamiki? Oh my god. It's the one song that's like, we're gonna get so much use out of this one song. Oh my gosh. Imagine the savings we have by just having one song. Is that Aya Kamiki? Yeah, that's the one. Put your hand in mine. Every single bee's a light. Every single bee's a light? Huh? You know, every single bee's a light. Hitomi let out a giggle because Achi was just being a goober. Everything will be alright. That's true. She wouldn't know it because her father bought the album for her. That's kind of nice. That's kind of cool. Ayo, Achi. I thought he was gonna sort of put intentional. I guess it's again sort of his unintentional riz that strikes again. I thought he was gonna be intentional about it, but sure. You got the lyrics wrong. It's everything will be all right. Oh, right. Yeah. I guess that makes more sense, I guess. Achi's mouth curled into a sheepish smile. Smile. Blah, blah, blah. Aw. They could only afford one song. Just one singular song. All right. I think we've laid low long enough, Achi said at last. Think we should be on our way? He was about to get to his feet when he heard voices outside the storeroom again. I just had a thought. About that person who is AWOL in the company, and that maybe this is the same storeroom, and that maybe Tama had accidentally hit their head and then had the cat costume on for the play and then woke up and was like, wow, that's so crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna leave now. And then just left. Possibly? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know who's who. Yikes, that was pretty careless of us. Oh, yikes, that was pretty careless of us. Yeah, we definitely gotta watch it. The theater guys from earlier had returned, and they sounded a bit panicked. Tomonari Takaya and Taro Toga, two members of the theater troupe, Takaya is the Wandering Angels star actor, but lately, in addition to appearing on their stage, he's been taking on TV drama and film work as well. The next role he's slated in is for Sun TV's upcoming suspense drama, Sumo Queen 2, where he will play the referee who utters the lame line, "Looks like things are getting heavy," upon discovering a victim's dying message inscribed in one corner of the sumo ring. What? Okay, cool. Alright, cool. A good theory. Maybe it is that person and not Maria. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Heard folks have been messing with the storeroom a bunch recently. And did you hear who's behind it? Some juvenile delinquents. Uh-oh. Well, maybe we should hide again. We don't want them to see us. Like a gang? That takes me way back. Alright, let's hurry on back. Achi rushed over to the door. You didn't just lock it, did you? He tried turning the knob, but the door wouldn't budge. Oh, boy. Oh, come on. Are you freaking kidding me? He paced frantically around the room, pulling at his hair. We're locked in. And that door was the only way in or out. Achi and Hitomi were well and truly trapped inside the storeroom. This is all my fault, Achi said. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place, but I mean, we didn't die, so it's a good idea. I mean, we might die now, but it was still a good idea. He bowed to Hitomi repeatedly. We're never gonna be able to find that blue minivan now. Guess we'll have to get someone on the outside to help us, Hitomi replied. She scowled thoughtfully. Now would be a great time to text Tanaka or whoever. They powered their phones back on in order to call for help. The big question was, who could they possibly ask? Hitomi, anyone you can reach out to? Mr. Tanaka, I suppose. Tanaka, right. The suggestion didn't exactly thrill Achi. He had no idea what this Tanaka guy was like. Hopefully he was the dependable sort who'd actually show up to rescue them. Last we saw of him, it was kind of implied that Tanaka might have like a listening device planted on him, so I don't know. Maybe. But somehow that thought made Achi feel even worse. Achi had someone he figured he could call, but he hesitated, uncertain. There had been a time when he trusted this guy more than anyone. They'd bailed each other out on countless jams. Nowadays, though, things were different. I'm guessing that's the leader of, the current leader of the SOS. Hitomi gave Achi a puzzled look as he sat, lost in thought. Right, guess I don't have much of a choice. Achi scrolled through the contacts list on his cell phone. He found a name that he thought he'd never call again. Susumu. Yeah. Yo. Achi, is that you? Susumu's voice was low and guarded. Look, I've got a favor to ask you. I'm in a real bind here. Like, things are ridiculously bad. I thought maybe you could help me out a little bit. You seriously thought I'd help you? Susumu's words were like ice. You messing with me or something, man? Now he sounded a touch angry as well. Painful memories flashed before Achi's eyes. Right then. Sorry to bug you, just forget. But Susumu hung up before Achi was even finished talking. No dice, Achi said to Hitomi with a lopsided frown. She looked back at him, her expression a mirror of his own. What should we do? What should we do? I guess we're back to Mr. Tanaka. Guess so. You want to go ahead then? There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, who's probably being evil or super sus right now. Hitomi tried calling him repeatedly, but Tanaka didn't pick up. What could have happened? She muttered under her breath. Do you think maybe the kidnappers found out that Mr. Tanaka and I... Do you think maybe the kidnappers found out that Mr. Tanaka and I have been in contact? Achi shrugged. It looked like they were just going to need to find some way out of here on their own, and then maybe look for the minivan themselves. Achi strode over to the door and grabbed hold of the knob. He tried to give it a good sturdy pull. How did they frame the shot right here? Is this like there isn't actually any door here? They just put like a doorknob and it's like, okay, now act pantomime that you're trying to pull the door open, but it's not working. I don't know. Very interesting. No good. The thing won't even budge. That door opens outward. What? Wait, really? Achi tried giving it a push. It still didn't open. Okay, cool. Cool. He kicked it. Oh. That door wasn't nearly as sturdy as Achi had expected. I think I can make this work. He backed up to get a running start, then kicked the door with all his might. Hi-ya! Alright, hopefully we don't have to play for any property damage, because otherwise that would suck. The door does look photoshopped. Yeah, a little bit. Wonder if he was holding the doorknob in the air. Yeah, that's what I was trying to like explain as well. I don't think I did a good job of explaining it, but yeah, basically that. The door went flying off its hinges. Oh man, that was way too easy. You just kicked down a door? Okay, sure. Achi stepped cautiously out of the storeroom. He quickly scanned the surrounding area. There was nobody in sight. Looks like we're in the clear, he called. But Hitomi didn't come out, nor did she reply. Hitomi? She had her phone in her hand, apparently still trying to get in touch with Tanaka. It's okay. I don't know, hello evil or something. It's fine. It's okay. With a tiny sigh, Achi leaned against the wall and waited for her to finish. Well, doesn't look like I'm going to have any luck, she said. You know we can leave now, right? Are you Are you still holding out hope for your Mr. Tanaka? It's not that. I'm just a little worried. Oh, yeah? Okie dokie then. I'll just, wait around out here. Okay, I'll be right with you. Uh-huh. Achi shuffled his way back outside. Ow! And then died. Oh, crap. By the time Achi could finish processing the thought, he was already laid out on the ground. Oh yeah, this guy might have a tracking device. So that would make sense. His jaw hit the asphalt hard. He bit the tip of his tongue clean off. The taste of blood filled his mouth. Ew. He just sprawled the frick out, like, ow, ow. A moment later, he took a sharp blow to the head. He was done for. All the energy drained from his body. His mind whirled. His vision grew hazy. He began to drift from consciousness. Back when he'd run with Susumu and the others, he never left himself exposed to a surprise attack. There were plenty of times he'd taken a punch that sent him reeling, only to spin away and come back swinging. This time, he hadn't even seen it coming. It was his last mistake, his last surprise even. Guess I let myself go soft. Okay, I would like to point out that this wouldn't be happening if Hitomi was just like, oh, you got the door open, cool, let's go. Let's get out of here. But, alright, cool. I guess we'll have to go to switch to somebody else's story or something. He's like the Running Man emote. Yeah, yeah, exactly like that. Achi grimaced inwardly, muttering in a voice no one but he could hear. Hitomi, I'm so sorry. And then he died. Attacked by a man with a cane. These are so literal titles. Maybe she wanted this to happen. Perhaps. I don't think so. I think she was just really preoccupied with... I don't know why Tanaka is not picking up. Achi successfully managed to break out of the storeroom, only to be knocked out by the man with the cane while he waited for Hitomi. Things might have gone differently if Hitomi had managed to get in contact with Tanaka. Why hadn't he responded to her calls? Maybe something strange had happened at the Osawa residence, or perhaps there was some reason he wasn't able to answer the phone. Okay, I see. Actual bad end. Yes, actual bad end indeed. There's no jump here, is there? You can jump to Kano, which is what we're gonna do, but otherwise, is there any other... what's going on? Where's Osawa? The heck is he? What? What? Oh, I guess Osawa just got erased from existence. Everything that we did didn't matter. It was just like, Lamayo, I do not care at all, in the slightest. Interesting. Alright. So we're gonna have to jump back, and figure that out. For now, though, I'm gonna go continue with Kano, because, I'm rather interested in that storyline, in that plot line. Let me see. Make the jump here. Alright, jump. Yay! Okay, now don't die, Kano. That's all you have to do. Just don't die. The car moved at a glacial pace toward the crime syndicate's hangout. Stanley pounded his fist on the steering wheel in frustration. They had no sooner set out than the traffic slowed to a near standstill because of some boy, some dude. Despite the occasional lurch, it never crept above a crawl. Kano stewed in the passenger's seat. The case was rapidly getting out of hand. Now he had to worry about the safety of both Maria and her sister Hitomi. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Never mind the fact that Detective Tatano had also gone missing. That's true. What's going on with him? I imagine this guy keeps getting talked up a lot, that at some point we're gonna meet Tatano, but it's like, what's going on specifically with his storyline? There were too many unknowns, too many uncertainties. His unease was growing unbearable. Also, his words kept echoing inside Kano's head. It was really fucking annoying. What could have caused Tatano to drop out of contact? Someone had gone after Hitomi while Kano and the others were busy trailing the attaché case. Could Tatano have been... No, it couldn't be. Kano was sure Tatano would have done whatever was necessary to keep Hitomi safe. Stanley broke the long silence. What's on your mind? Still thinking about that call from Kuze? Kano didn't answer. Look, if you're worrying about the other detective, the guy that couldn't even protect one girl, Stanley continued. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Don't you talk about Detective Tatano that way. I'm concerned about Hitomi Osawa, but the missing attaché case needs to come first. Stanley's expression remained stone cold. Kano flashed him a sidelong glare, then went back to staring out the window. A moment later, a flurry of motion in a nearby alley caught his eye. The heck is that? Oh, is that Sasayama? Yeah. With a start, he recognized Sasayama. His fellow detective was caught up in an altercation, blah blah blah, and with a man in dark clothes. Kano sprang into action, his body moving almost before his mind registered the situation. Sasayama! Flinging the door open, he leapt out of the car. Hey, wait! Stanley called after him, but Kano was already sprinting toward the fight. The other man knocked Sasayama into a pile of garbage. As Sasayama struggled to get back to his feet, his opponent looked down on him with a triumphant sneer. Is this the man who tried to, the same foreigner man who just tried to attack, Hitomi and Achi? Kano had got a good look at the man, and his eyes flashed with recognition. It was the perp who'd first taken the attaché case back at the Scramble. Yeah. Oh, Tariq Al-Karawan. I didn't realize he had a name. I forgot about that. You, Kano growled. He sped like a bullet to tackle Al-Karawan around the legs. But Al-Karawan nimbly stepped aside. Kano's arms closed on nothing but air. At the same moment, Al-Karawan deftly wrapped an arm around Kano's neck. Aw, dang it. Well, time to get another bad end. Kano felt a vice-like pressure on his carotid artery. A move known as the front choke sleeper hold. Constricting the carotid artery stops blood flow to the brain, causing the opponent to lose consciousness, also known as the guillotine choke. His consciousness quickly began to slip away. Oh no, you don't, you bastard, he snarled. Lowering his center of gravity, he got a hold of one of Al-Karawan's legs and used his shoulder as a fulcrum against it. Despite the arm still crushing his neck, Kano managed to lift his opponent high into the air. Alright, nice one, cool. Kano actually did something, congrats. He continued the movement to heave Al-Karawan up and over himself, slamming him upside down into the heap of trash. Stanley strolled up. Stanley was just like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Stanley strode up to the aftermath of the struggle. Well, you've got the brawn part down, he said. Need some work on the brains. Al-Karawan was sprawled out atop a mound of refuse. He'd been knocked out cold. Sasayama coughed and sputtered. Kano went to help him to his feet, but Stanley stepped in between them. Really? I want to see my buddy, my good old pal. This is a very detailed fight scene. Yeah. And I kind of like it. I kind of like the well, I mean, it is a visual novel for a reason, but it's like, I like the novel-esque way that the game is structured, basically. What are you doing? Stanley asked. Helping Sasayama. What does it look like? We need to apprehend Karawan first. He's not even conscious. Sasayama can come first. He pushed Stanley aside and crouched down alongside his partner. Are you alright? He asked. Yeah, Sasayama groaned. You bailing me out, though. Can't let the missus know about that. Mum's the word, Kano said. He slipped an arm underneath Sasayama and helped him to his feet. I managed to find the guy who had the attaché case, Sasayama said. But when I tried to arrest him, this fella came out of nowhere and attacked me. He flashed Al Karawan a nasty look. So here we go again, disobeying direct orders, Stanley huffed. What's the deal with Japanese police, anyway? He shook his head in exasperation. Sasayama gave Kano a puzzled look, jerking his thumb at the American. Who's this guy? It's a long story, Kano said. He filled Sasayama in on the situation. Enough chit-chat. Hurry up and cuff this guy, Stanley said. Kano knelt down by Al Karawan's unconscious body, flipped him over, and proceeded to cuff his hands behind his back. You could have done that. You could have done that while I was tending to Sasayama, but sure, all right. Kano paused. Al Karawan's sleeve had slid back from his wrist. What's this? Oh. The unconscious man had a tattoo of a two-headed scorpion on his left forearm. Stanley strode over. You find something? He asked. Yes, I think this guy might be the ringleader. Seeing the image had reminded Kano of something he'd heard back at headquarters, that the head of a foreign syndicate had a scorpion tattoo. Oh, okay. He relayed this information to Stanley. I see. Stanley called up Kuze on his cell. You'll be happy to know that the guy with the attaché case is still at large, he said. Apprehending the ringleader at this point shouldn't be an issue. One of your so very capable subordinates gave us a big step forward in the case here. Wait a second, Sasayama murmured. If he's in a foreign country, I doubt he has any cuffs. I know he doesn't have any jurisdiction to legally do anything. That is true. I thought that they said he was working for some U.S. Senate ambassador thing, and I mean he is working with Kuze, so I figured if someone way up top is like, hey, basically go out there and do this job for us specifically, you think they would at least supply materials or anything to help with said capture. Wait a second, Sasayama murmured. That was sarcasm, wasn't it? Stanley hung up and called over to him. Think you can escort this guy back to the precinct? Yeah, sure, seeing how very capable I am. There's a time when... Hold on. Was that in this time block? It was here. There's a time when Minorikawa got the scoop from this guy here that basically somebody let somebody else out. Was that Sasayama? Is Sasayama gonna do that at some point? Okay. I will keep that in mind. He's here on a favor, but even so, it wouldn't. He shouldn't be legally allowed to openly perform any kind of law enforcement. I suppose. It's just like stuff that I wouldn't know or understand yet, I guess. It was probably like go do a crime mean, but he got one thing and was left alone. Kano felt his phone vibrate. The display showed an incoming call from Rumi. Hi, Rumi. I really can't deal with this right now. Hello? He answered wearily, keeping his voice down. Stanley had him a little on edge. It's me. Oh. It's me. It was Shizuo. Damn it, Kano thought. He did not have time for this right now. Like, I literally don't. Just leave me alone. Give me one day. Give me 24 hours. But if he had just hung up, he might be in even deeper hot water. Kano made a choice, decided that he'd have to take the risk. He hung up the phone, decided he better listen to what the old man had to say. Sure. Decided that he better listen to what the old man had to say. Hello, sir. I'm afraid I'm not really at liberty to take a personal call right now, even if it is from my father-in-law. He did his best to sound apologetic. I'm not your father-in-law. Yes, of course. Sorry, sir. He bowed his head reflexively, feeling like an idiot. You really don't give a damn about keeping me waiting like this, do you? Sir, I swear to you, I feel terrible. Please, I just... Flustered, he took a deep breath and recomposed himself. I promise you, sir. I promise I'll be there. If you could just wait a little while... Don't make promises you can't keep. Shizuo's barking rebuke made Kano break out in a sweat. You think I'm gonna let you off the hook just because you're working a case? This is exactly why I don't want my daughter with some detective. Listen, a child, well, not a child. I believe she's 18, but somebody has been kidnapped. Someone has been kidnapped. Please. Great, another angry tirade. But didn't you used to be a detective, sir? Kano muttered. You watch yourself, you little brat. It's not enough that you keep calling me your father-in-law, now you have to bring that up. Evidently, Kano had touched a raw nerve. Ever have a dentist hit a nerve while drilling a tooth? That's where this expression comes from. Ew. Thankfully, I've never had that happen. That sounds like it would suck. It seemed like anything he said only made matters worse. Well, you're not off the hook, Shizuo continued. I'm never letting my daughter marry the likes of you. His fury hitting its crescendo, Shizuo promptly hung up. Why on earth did Shizuo hold such intense malice toward police detectives when he'd been one himself? I mean, only the father is visiting. Maybe Rumi's mother divorced him? And he's kind of like touchy about that, so now, I don't know. Maybe he's like projecting or something. Kano had become a detective for Rumi's sake in the first place, and now was the biggest thing holding him back. Hey, come on, let's go. Stanley's voice snapped Kano out of his daze. Grimly, he followed the American back to the car. And now we're back in traffic again. I guess we couldn't just walk there. Well, you can't leave the car there, so. Yet again, Stanley was thumping the steering wheel in frustration. Traffic hadn't let up one bit. It was starting to look like they might never make it to the foreign syndicate's hangout. It's okay, because if you make it there, you will die. You will die. Kano caught sight of a girl in a hoodie weaving her way between the stopped cars on foot. He rolled down the window and called out to her. Girl in a hoodie? Miku Morita was a fighter at the cosplay fighting pub Bride, but just decided to retire after losing to Tama, the cat, in a street fight. Now she's thinking of what to do with herself now. Interesting. I wonder if Tama and Kano will ever meet. I want that. I want that. Excuse me, miss. Did something happen? Oh, you're right there. Sorry, you didn't have to yell so loud. Huh? What do you mean? With the road, I mean. What's all this traffic? Oh, right. Apparently there was some big accident over by the train station. That's probably what's causing it. Really? Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to be going anywhere for a while. She smiled and went on her way. Stanley gave the steering wheel another punch. Well, I guess they did say this wasn't some typical ransom case, he muttered. Kano saw an opportunity. If they're not after the money, then what are they after? Stanley kept his eyes forward, acting as if he hadn't heard. Look, Kano said, I can't help you if you keep me out of the loop. After a few moments of thought, Stanley replied with a single monosyllable. Drugs. What? Maria's father, Kenji Osawa. I assume you're aware that he works for Okoshi Pharmaceutical? I am. Nothing's been made public yet, but Osawa recently oversaw the development of a new drug. It is not all uncommon for a new drug to be in development for 15 years or more, with expenses totaling 20 to 30 billion yen, roughly 200 to 300 million US dollars. Unfortunately, this game came out in 2011 or something, so these numbers are not up to date. Before it is approved, it's probably even more expensive, so. Worldwide demand and sensational profits can be expected if a groundbreaking medicine is developed. Nonetheless, pharmaceutical companies are often under major pressure due to the tremendous cost of labor and equipment. Drugs! I thought they meant like, drugs like other drugs, but no, they mean like actual pharmaceutical drugs. Okay. And someone is trying to get their hands on it. Kano's mind latched onto this new information, trying to assemble the pieces of an evolving puzzle. Someone who? An international criminal mastermind. This foreign syndicate is merely a tool in someone else's game. Kano regarded Stanley's face carefully. He looked more cold and serious than ever. So wait, does that mean that the reason we're letting the syndicate walk around unfettered is on my orders? Yes. I see. So the only thing you're really concerned with is catching this international mastermind. Precisely. Kano felt like he was starting to get a picture of what sort of person Stanley was. Pharma drugs can also double as the other drugs. That is true. That is true. So, you don't really care what happens to the girl who's been abducted, do you? Not particularly, no. Why, do you have a problem with that? Kano clenched his fist. His hand was shaking with anger. Dick-dictum! We have not heard anything about the dick-dictum in a while. Dick-dictum number 8. When you really want to punch something, you really probably shouldn't. Okay, cool. Kano recited the words inwardly in some sort of desperate mantra. If he didn't manage to calm himself down, he was liable to slam his fist right into Stanley's face. Outside the car, the traffic remained at a standstill. Kano chafed against a feeling of utter futility. One after another, his uncertainties came to nag at him. Was Maria still safe? No idea. What happened to Hitomi and Tatano, her bodyguard? All these questions which haven't been answered. And now, on top of all this, it struck Kano as rather careless to send Sasayama away with Al-Karaman without any backup. Now that Jack had alerted him to the presence of a dangerous international mastermind still on the loose. Thanks, Dick Dictum. I find the Dick Dictum to be absolutely hilarious when I first saw it, but he doesn't actually reference it as much as I thought he would, to be quite honest. Fit of pique, to do something impulsively out of irritation, resentment, or the like, similar to doing something in a huff. Fighting back his fit of pique, Kano got out his cell phone. He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure his partner had gotten Al-Karawan back to the precinct safely. He dialed up Detective Kajiwara, who was stationed at the Osawa residence. He had hoped for a little more information about the family's 2 daughters that might shed some light on the situation. You just have Kajiwara's number on speed dial? Wait, I didn't even think about that. I was like, hello, yes, it's me. It's me, Kajiwara. I think you should call Sasayama. He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure his partner had gotten Al-Karawan back to the precinct safely. Sasayama picked up almost right away. Kano, what's up? How are things on your end? Any problems getting Al-Karawan back? Nah, I got Tatano taking care of him. Tatano? Wait, what? Kano could hardly believe his ears. You were in touch with Tatano? He asked. He could hear the shock in his own voice. Yeah, just bumped into him over by the precinct a little while ago. Okay, so Tatano is super suspicious. Then he is safe. Kano felt a surge of relief. What about Hitomi then? Stanley glanced over at him, curious. Tatano says he lost track of her somehow. And then he got called back to the precinct, apparently. Tatano had lost track of her. That's not like him, Kano thought. Since he was heading back there anyway, I handed our guy over to him, Sasayama said. Well, that's... that was not the correct decision on your end, but sure. I see. Kano was glad to hear that Tatano was all right, but his relief was tempered by a surge of anger at the thought of what had happened to Hitomi. Now, I'm back to tailing the attaché case, Sasayama continued. Today is my wife's birthday, you know. My plan is to wrap this thing up ASAP so we can celebrate tonight. I've already got a present and everything. I envy you, man. Closing his eyes, Kano took a moment to picture Rumi. But Shizuo's face popped into his mind's eye right alongside her. Oh, just hang in there, buddy. Even if your girlfriend is a picture of Masami Nagahama. Yeah! Yeah! What does this mean? What does it all mean? I forgot about this. Midoriyama Academy graduate and national celebrity, her popularity shows no signs of slowing down after she played the female lead in such films as The Beast That Hoarded Gold, At the Heart of the World, and The Swidden Fortress. There's another nationally famous actress with the same name, but it is nationally known fact that the two are completely separate people. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Okay. Sure. Still stickering, Sasayama hung up. Thanks. Kano bit his lip and slipped his phone back into his pocket. At long last, traffic began to move again. I know we're over time for a break, but I think... Oh, what the hell? Okay. Alright, well, we're just gonna pass over that. I know we're over time for a break, but I think I'm just gonna continue for the full 2 hours. Like I said, next week I will likely only have one stream, and it's likely not to be any Shibuya streams. So with that being said, I want to get through as much of the story as I can this week. So almost as soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. The abrupt stop made Kano smack his head against the windshield. Hey, what gives? Look, Stanley said. He gestured with his chin. Oh, he's just there. He's just there. Okay, cool. Kano couldn't believe his eyes. There, walking along the sidewalk ahead, was Ao Karawan, very much not in custody. What the hell? Kano shouted, already hopping out of the car. Stanley was right behind him. They crept up on their target as silently as possible, then rushed him once they were close. In a moment, they had subdued him. I find that a lot of the shots here are kind of darker. So it's interesting. I wonder why that is. Maybe it was just really bright outside, and they were like, we have to dim this. Kano used his own body weight to hold Ao Karawan down. What are you doing out here? He demanded. Whoa, hey, guess you didn't get the memo, huh? Oh, wait, this is him. Oh, hey, guess you didn't get the memo, huh? Ao Karawan flashed a coy grin. They let me go. Let you go? I think your buddy might have hearing problems, Ao Karawan said to Stanley. I'm a free man. Kano turned and glared at Stanley. What is he talking about? No idea. First things first, get this guy back to the precinct. I'll head to the syndicate hangout by myself. Oh, well, you're gonna die. Rip. Rest in peace, buddy. Rest in peace, buddy. You'll do fine, I guess. It might be making the white text hard to read. Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. I see. Yeah, that's probably what's happening. You don't think this is weird? Kano asked. I mean, what the heck is this guy doing? What the heck is this guy doing on the loose again? What matters is that he is free. Maybe he's telling the truth about being let go. But that's ridiculous. Then I guess he must have escaped on his own, Stanley replied. In either case, your buddy screwed up royally. Now it's on you to unscrew things. None of this sat right with Kano, but the fact remains that he... Yeah, that's probably it, because, like, that shot previously was looking up at the sky, towards the sky, so maybe it was too bright. This one is looking downward, so the sun is not in the way. None of this sat right with Kano, but the fact remained that he couldn't just let Al-Qadran go. He gave Stanley detailed directions to the hangout, and the car sped away towards Yoyogi. Then Kano headed back to the precinct with his captive, trying to reassure himself that he might learn something from questioning Al-Qadran that would help resolve the case. Alright, time for some more questioning. So when we were back previously, at the very beginning of the game, when we were in here with Achi, I find it interesting that, like, we spent all day interrogating Achi, and they were like, hey, the case has already been solved, like, you can go home now, Kano, like, we don't really need you. It seems like by letting Kano get more involved in the story, to be quite honest, things get more and more complicated, which is why we have the story that we have. So I find that kind of interesting. Kano sat opposite Al-Qadran in the interrogation room. He'd been attempting to interview the suspect for about a quarter of an hour. Al-Qadran sat ramrod stiff, not responding to any prompts or questions. What time is it right now? He asked. They'd taken away his watch, his wallet, a small knife, and his keychain. This was the third time he'd asked to know the time. Why are you so concerned what time it is? Kano asked. Al-Qadran gave no reply. Are you waiting on something? Again, the suspect was staunchly silent. Kano wasn't sure what to make of this, but he took a look at his watch. It's around 2 o'clock, he said. What time exactly? It's 2:18. 2:18 in how many seconds? Look, just cut the crap! Ah, and then maybe the light in this one made it a little bit, so they had to, like, dim it slightly. Okay. Kano grabbed the prisoner by the collar. What the hell are you people after? Al-Qadran merely repeated his question. What time is it right now? With a growl of aggravation, Kano shoved his wristwatch in Al-Qadran's face. Ah, it's 2:20, Al-Qadran said. Okay then, that should do it. I think that we shouldn't be telling the suspect the time. I think that that's bad. What? What does that mean? The interrogation went on for several more hours. Despite Kano's best efforts, however, Al-Qadran said nothing more. During all that time, the case continued to develop in unexpected ways. Kano, you should just not be doing interrogations, my guy. You should just not be here. Because every time we do this, we end up at a bad end. During all that time, the case continued to develop in unexpected ways, but Kano, stuck in the interrogation room, knew nothing about it until everything was already over and done. We never learned. We just never learned what it was. Number 26, questioning Al-Qadran. While Kano performed admirably in capturing Tariq Al-Qadran, ironically, his action actually disrupted the investigation. Maybe letting the syndicate run free for the time being really was the right call. Something you can do at 1340 that throws a wrench into Kano's activities, thanks to the involvement of unrelated parties, and Kano's reaction will make the investigation play out differently. What? What? Someone can do something at 1340 that throws a wrench into Kano's activities, thanks to the involvement of unrelated parties, and Kano's reaction will make the investigation play out differently. What are you talking about? What? Alrighty then. Well, all that said, your bad end has been erased from existence, so we can continue on with that. We still don't have any way to get over here, I don't think. Yeah, we still don't have any way to complete Tama's so far. I imagine that a lot of the choices that I need to make for Kano are based in Osawa's route. Maybe? I don't know. Possibly. Maybe. Alright, well, with that in mind, let's just go back to Achi. And maybe this won't end in a bad end anymore somehow because we did something that's important. Did we? Did we actually? Should the guy with the cane still be out there? Nah, whatever, it's fine. Alright, we laid low for long enough. I think that we're gonna get the same bad end. This is all my fault. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place. We're never gonna be able to find that blue minivan now. Guess we're gonna have to get somebody on the outside to help us. What the hell? Oh, something changed. Why? Okay. Oh, Hitomi chirped. That's me. She took a look at the LCD display. It's an email for Mr. Tanaka. Oh, okay. I get cool. Nice. Oh, okay. Hitomi began typing out a response with practiced ease. More wild delusions rose in Achi's mind. I don't think you need to worry. Ideas or fantasies conjured up in one's mind with no logical or factual basis. People can become deluded for varying reasons about a whole host of different subjects. Thankfully, Achi's delusions here are ultimately of the harmless sort. Is it harmless though? Is it harmless? Stealing a quick glance at Hitomi, he noticed her gazing happily at her phone screen. His delusions ran ever more wild. We don't need to see any more of them. I really, I just think you're so off the mark here, my guy. I wouldn't even worry about it. While he was still fretting furiously, Hitomi finished typing her response. So, what did you wind up saying? Achi asked. Even the fast forward part is part of the VA. 10 out of 10. Thank you. Harmless to us, but deadly to him. That's fair. I explained the situation. That we're trapped in a storeroom, you've got some guys chasing after you, and that you're looking for some van. Yes, I also asked him to please keep this a secret from my family and the police. Whoever this Tanaka guy was, Hitomi sure seemed to put a lot of trust in him. Bleh. A short while later, Hitomi's phone chimed with a reply. She checked the screen in a flash, all eagerness. Achi? Achi? Couldn't help but ask. So, what's this Tanaka guy have to say? Did his utmost to pretend not to notice. What does he have to say? A hint of jealousy slipped into his voice. He says he's going to try and find the minivan for us. Neat, cool. Huh? If he just comes and lets us out, I can go look for it myself. He says he wants us to hide out a little here for a little longer. Oh, what the hell? Seriously? He says that if someone's after me, it's safer to stay where we are. Yeah, I'm out of the running, Achi thought to himself. This Tanaka was clearly pretty concerned for her. And there was really only one reason a middle-aged man would think like that. Is there? I need... Okay, Achi, but sure. Alright, fine, we'll wait. Achi turned off his own phone off, then slumped back in a huff. But surely there's a tracking device, so at some point this is gonna backfire, maybe, possibly. After 20 more minutes in the storeroom, the two were sitting in silence. Achi had run out of things to talk about. Do you think you'll ever be friends again? Oh, wait. Yeah, I was like, why is Achi saying this? Do you think you'll ever be friends again? You and that one guy. Susumu, I think it was. Hitomi's question caught Achi off guard. He stammered, unsure how to respond. Hitomi shook her head. I'm so sorry. I barely know you. That was insensitive of me. No, it's all right. I mean, sometimes I wish things could go back to the way they used to be, Achi said. He let out a tiny sigh. What that Kiryu guy, what that Kazuma Kiryu guy said was the truth. Also, the other knockoff Kiryu guy said was the truth. I was the guy who founded SOS. Do you know what I mean by that? Hitomi gave a slight nod. I mean, I never wanted to be in charge of a gang or anything. But I knew that if I left, SOS would just fall apart. And I didn't want everyone else to get all caught up over who would take my place, you know? So I thought long and hard about it, looking for a way for folks to stay friends even after I was gone. But it ended up not working out. The loud voice echoed through the pool hall that served as the SOS HQ. An establishment for playing pool, more formally known as pocket billiards. This particular place is a pool bar serving alcohol. The standard pool table is rectangular in shape, sports 6 pockets, 4 in each corner and 1 in the middle of each long side, and supports multiple games including 9-ball, 8-ball, and rotation. There are also tables without pockets. This style is known as carom billiards. That was so riveting. I don't care about pool at all. But okay. What do you mean you're leaving? Susumu was positively red in the face. You're a founder, Achi. You can't just up and quit. Susumu had been almost like a younger brother to Achi. If anyone was going to try and stop him, Achi knew full well it would be Susumu. Look, I'm not gang leader material. All I've been trying to do is make sure we're all able to have fun. That's not true, Susumu said. Think about all that stuff you taught us. Don't you remember? Every man gets to make one request in his life that cannot be denied. Why would you promise that? Those are your words, Achi. Did I say that? It's the heaviest thing you've ever said. Then, to Achi's consternation, Susumu got down on his hands and knees. I'm begging you, please don't leave. Without you, SOS is nothing. Achi could feel his conviction waver. I'm begging you here, from one man to another. This is my one request. Susumu, I'm sorry. Achi could barely croak out the words. I'm leaving you in charge. You can't, Susumu pleaded. Please don't say that. Achi turned his back to him in silence. Achi, no. No. Achi, please, won't you listen? I can't possibly beg any harder than this. True, I can see why he didn't come running to your rescue now. I can kind of understand now. Enough with all the request nonsense. Achi grimaced. What? Look at you, down on your hands and knees like that. Pathetic. Oh, man. Ultimately stems from the Greek patheticos, meaning subject to feeling or capable of emotion. Over time, the meaning changed to signify exciting the passions, and later on, to more modern sense, arousing one's pity. Dang. Why would you say that, man? It's a little unfair. Achi clearly doesn't want to stay, and Susumu is forcing him to stay. You make him miserable just so that everyone else feels better. Yeah, that is true. It just makes more sense now from Susumu's perspective why he would not be like, hey bro, can you help me out? It's like, Hilamayo, no, and just hang up. That makes way more sense. So, Achi spoke as harshly as he could, fighting to mask his true feelings. I'm fed up with you, all of you. With each word out of his mouth, Achi could feel his own heart breaking. But if he could make the others hate him, at the very least, it would give SOS a reason to stay together, band together on mutual hate. How can you say that? Don't you try and pull that crap. Susumu's tone had changed from sadness to anger. Fine then, he railed. I'm never asking you for anything again. I'll do I'll do what you want. I'll take the reins of SOS. Achi walked away, waving vaguely without looking back. Good luck. I mean it. Once he'd stepped out of the pool hall, he wiped his sleeves across his face and came away wet with tears. Aw. But you didn't have to call him pathetic, though. You didn't have to kick him while he was down like that. Sometimes I think that maybe I could apologize to those guys and we could go back to the good old days again. That's never gonna happen, unless Suzune gets better. He stared into the distance at nothing in particular. At least I genuinely, like, I looked at that line, I read the next line, and I looked at this next line, and I was like, oh, Suzune, right, your little sister or something. I was like, who is he talking about? What? Yes, his little sister who is sick. At least he sorted out how he felt about his former pals. You know, the game told me... That's not the correct button. The game told me, keep out. Autoplay. Oh, okay. Oh, hi tutorial. I hope you've been doing well. This is the list of bad endings. Here you can check for hints as to why things ended as badly as they did. Oops, I didn't know you had more words to say to me. Interesting. Okay. We've gotten the most bad endings with Kano. just so many bad endings. Oh my gosh. Interesting. So it only keeps track of the bad endings. I thought that there was a glossary somewhere that the game said it also keeps track of, but I am a liar because they did not say that. It's just the bad endings. I'm surprised Susumu didn't understand what Achi was doing there. Yeah, he's too caught up in his own emotions to kind of see it from, like, mutual perspectives, I guess, so to speak. At least he'd sorted out how he felt about his former pals. Is there nothing that can help your sister? Hitomi asked. She needs a heart transplant. And the problem with heart transplants is that the timing is tricky. The act of surgically implanting one person's heart into another's body. Such an operation is typically only performed on a patient with severe heart disease who cannot survive without a new heart. There are strict requirements that must be met before a heart can be transplanted, however. Chief among them, that the donor must be brain dead. That's going to be important. I wonder... I guess at some point somebody's going to end up brain dead. And Achi's sister is going to get some sort of transplant. But who? Hopefully not anyone we care about, we know and love and care about. Because that would suck. And the problem with heart transplants is that the timing is tricky. Even if there's a donor available, the transplant has to be performed within 4 hours or things get dicey. Because lack of oxygen causes damage, referred to as warm ischemia damage, in any organ removed from the human body, a transplant must be carried out and blood circulation restored within a certain time window known as the total ischemic time. In case of a heart transplant, total ischemic time is only 4 hours. Helicopters and charter jets are frequently used to rapidly transport hearts for such operations. Oh wow, I didn't realize. Someone with a heart that's a match for Suzune would need to die somewhere near her, somewhere they could perform the surgery within that 4-hour window. The odds of that happening are so small it would almost be a miracle, which is what my sister's been waiting for. Achi thumped the left side of his chest. If my heart would do the trick, I'd gladly let her have it. Damn it. And I've got a strong heart too. But you only have one. You need it. He thumped himself on the chest again and again. He didn't mention it to Hitomi, but Suzune's blood type made finding her a heart transplant even more difficult. Oh. She had Bombay blood. The fuck are you what? a type of blood that does not correspond with the more common types of A, B, O, or AB. In some instances, a standard blood typing yields the result of O in such individuals. First discovered in the city of Bombay, now Mumbai, on India's west coast, the blood type takes its name from the city due to its relatively high incidence among its inhabitants. What? What? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm about to pull up Google real quick to look this up. Bombay, blood? HH blood group. Well, today I learned. This is kind of crazy. Alrighty then. I will save that for later. Is this real? It is indeed real. I imagine most things in this game are mostly real in the sense of like this game hates misinformation. It hates movies. It wants you to know that what you see in movies is not correct and real and true. So, there is that. It was one of the rarest blood types in the world. Apparently, there were only a few dozen people in all of Japan who had it. Rare blood types such as Bombay are scarce enough that even nationwide blood centers seldom have them in sufficient supply. For this reason, when such blood types are discovered in everyday testing, samples are quickly taken to be frozen and stored at temperatures lower than 80 degrees below centigrade. Huh. It's real. It is indeed real. Apparently, there were only a few dozen people in Japan who had it. If Suzune were to ever receive a heart transplant, it would need to be from someone who also had Bombay blood. Achi? You're more likely to find that then in a foreigner than somebody who is natively Japanese. So maybe all this foreign crime syndicate stuff will work out for you, Achi. I don't know, maybe. Achi? Hitomi sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Wow, she must really feel bad for Suzune. If you did manage to find a heart for your sister, what would you do? What do you mean? Say, if you happened across someone who was a donor match. Do you have Bombay blood? I would do anything. Anything? Yeah, whatever it took. I'd risk my own life if it meant helping Suzune. I mean, at that point, I'd assume God had granted me a miracle or something, you know? Mr. Tanaka? Oh, we have a jump here for Kenji. Unfortunately for these two, it's not Mr. Tanaka. Right now, Tanaka is at the Osawa residence on his way to speak to Kenji Osawa, who's washing dishes after lunch, after he complained about not knowing how to wash dishes and shit like that. All right, cool. Hate to do this right now, but we're almost done with Kenji's story, so let's jump back there. Yeah. Oh joy, it's my favorite character. Director, if you have a moment. Tanaka poked his head into the kitchen. I've got something urgent to discuss with you. Yes, of course. Osawa took the bug tracker from his pocket and handed it back to Kajiwara. Won't be needing this anymore. As soon as they left the kitchen, Tanaka leaned in close and whispered to him. I got an email from Hitomi. He showed his cell phone to Osawa. It looks like my sister is being held captive in a blue minivan somewhere in Shibuya. But that man is still chasing me, so I can't really go looking for it. A blue minivan? Allow me to handle this, sir. I'll figure something out. Osawa knew he trusted Tanaka for a reason. Thank you, he said with a bow. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know any place she might have gone to, do you, sir? What? It's just that all she told me is that she's been moving around. I'm sorry. I don't really have any idea, Osawa replied. He was ashamed to say it. There wasn't a single place he knew of where his daughter might be inclined to go. All right. Okay, why are you not know anything about your daughters? I see. Tanaka, picking up on his discomfort, was visibly embarrassed himself. He hastened to change the subject. By the way, how did your talk with Mr. Makino go? I confirmed he was behind the human testing, but I don't know who sent me those emails. Tanaka paused for a moment and thought, looking like he might have a hunch. All right then, he said. We'll have to talk in more detail later. With that, the assistant director headed for the front door. Mr. Osawa. Kajiwara spoke from the kitchen door. Peeping in on me again, huh? Osawa grumbled. Thankfully, it didn't appear that the detective had overheard his conversation with Tanaka. Good grief, that thing is noisy. If it's broken, why don't you just throw it out? The sound from the bug tracker grew fainter and fainter. Something wasn't right, Osawa now realized. Mr. Osawa, Kajiwara said. This is my bug tracker. So? Osawa huffed. What do you mean, so? What I mean is, sir, this one isn't broken. Uh-oh. What? A chill ran up Osawa's spine. He swallowed audibly. I've pinpointed the source of the signal, Kajiwara said. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka. No, Osawa thought. I must have misheard that. Hold on, say that again. I've located the source of the signal. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka, the detective repeated. This time, Osawa heard him crystal clear. I thought it was beeping like a kitchen appliance. No, it is not. It is a tracker to see when people are being bugged, basically. Interesting. So, Tanaka is not to be trusted. This time, Osawa heard him crystal clear. I'm certain of it. Mr. Tanaka has a listening device on him. Osawa felt the blood draining from his face. If someone had been listening in on the conversation just now, then they'd have heard about the email from Hitomi. If the kidnappers were the ones listening, that meant Maria's life was now in danger. I'll go after him, sir. Kajiwara broke into a sprint. Osawa followed close behind. Is that to be continued? Yes, it is. It is a to be continued. My voice is dying now. Interesting. I don't know what to think about that. But I will say that the music there, very similar to how each character has a different tone. Each character's story kind of has different music. Because Minorikawa's at least is very action-packed, like, yeah, I'm gonna go write a story or something. I think, at least. Achi is definitely, like, very guitar-focused. And I know that because I like Achi's soundtrack the best, I think, out of all the characters. Tama is comedy hours, wow, 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 wow. You know, stuff like that. Kano is more serious, I believe, just like regular play it straight. But Osawa's soundtrack is kind of interesting as well. Huh. Alright, well, with that being said, and because my voice is absolutely dying, absolutely dying, I think it is about time to call it. But this was some good progress. I'm pretty sure we will absolutely be able to finish this time block next time. We will be back on Friday at the same time. playing through some more Shibuya Scramble. And then again, like I said, next week we are unlikely to have any Shibuya Scramble streams, just because I think that I'm gonna be really busy and really tired. Really tired. So unlikely, but we will get through as much as we can before that point. The next stream, though, will be on Thursday. We'll be playing 1000 Resist. I don't know if you're supposed to say the X. Kind of like Hunter x Hunter, you don't say the X. What that 1000 Resist is a game that you were talking about, Shu, actually. You were talking about it, and since then, I've been, like, very cognizant of everyone saying, like, everyone ever mentioning the game in passing. So now I'm just like, oh, shoot. Well, now I have to play it. So we will be back on Thursday, starting that new game. It's supposed to be... I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to be. But I heard somebody say if you like 13 Sentinels, then you'll probably like this game, which is very crazy to say in passing. But yeah. Let me go ahead and go over here. And set down my controller and see if anyone's online to raid. Let's go ahead and look for a raid. Let's check Twitter. Perhaps we could find somebody new to go and raid, if anyone is online. If not, then it do what it be. Huh, okay. Is this person online? They are. They are online. Okay. Somebody's playing Persona 3 Reload. I miss Yukari, so we're gonna go say hi. We're gonna go say hi because I miss Yukari and she was the best of us. I just noticed the Aganosawa's route. Yes, there is. There was cooking in Osawa's route for this time, so. But yeah, let me go ahead and switch over to ending screen. If you are here, thank you so much for hanging out for a little bit. I appreciate it. I will be back on Thursday with that new game. And I will get the raid ready for us in a bit. My voice is dying, so I'm gonna go rest and probably eat something. But bye-bye, 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 everyone.